Right. I think everybody's logged onto the WebEx and dialed into the conference number. So without further ado, let's kick off this event. For those of you dialing in from the US, good morning. And for those of you in EMEA, good afternoon. And in general, welcome to Storage Fusion's web seminar entitled Discover the True Value of Storage Resource Analysis. I'm Jeff Arnott, Storage Fusion's Managing Director, and today I'll be joined by Peter White, our Operations Director. Today we will be discussing the following topics. First, I'll give a short overview on current trends taking place in the storage market. Then I'll hand over to Peter, who will give us an overview of our SRA solution, followed by a demonstration of the product. Finally, I'll conclude with a few summary slides and wrap with questions and answers. So, what's been happening in the storage market? In a recent survey of several hundred storage professionals working for leading enterprise companies, some interesting statistics were collected. Firstly, even though we've all just come through one of the worst economic crises in living memory, most of the professionals surveyed believe that their storage budgets will either stay the same or increase, and only a small percentage believe that their budgets will actually decrease. This tells us that storage is still very important to organizations for their day-to-day operational needs. Secondly, these same storage professionals are telling us that their top priorities are primarily concerned with optimizing resource usage. This includes server virtualization, desktop virtualization, infrastructure consolidation, and finally, storage virtualization. Amongst these top priorities are the driving needs to mitigate storage acquisition costs, limit management overheads, and to bring the overall storage strategy in line with company objectives. In terms of the cloud, most of these storage professionals still indicate that security is a problem, and most are not considering moving storage to the cloud at this time. However, a small percentage is starting to move towards this goal in 2011. And finally, when it comes to storage virtualization, most companies can expect to gain somewhere between 40 to 60% improved storage usage via this technology, and we can see that a sizable percentage of these storage professionals will be moving towards this strategy in 2011. So, in keeping with this theme of optimizing resource usage, as a storage professional, how do you know that these assets are aligned to your current business needs and will continue serving those needs in the future? Well, that's an interesting question. At the highest level, all organizations have the same guiding principle, and that is to maximize stakeholder value. The way in which you maximize stakeholder value is simple. You simply have to deliver operational effectiveness. So as a storage professional, can you be sure that you are able to deliver this operational effectiveness when it comes to your storage environment? Well, the simple answer to that question is no. And that's because there is very little visibility across your entire storage estate. Most storage professionals would have difficulty answering these three basic questions. What storage resources do I have? Which vendors and which vendor models do I have in my storage environment? Secondly, where are these storage assets located? So in which geographic region and in which data center are these arrays located? And finally, what are these resources being used for? Are they configured? Have they been allocated? Are they free? Are they part of a replication strategy? Are they part of a virtualized pool? So on and so forth. So when it comes to improving operational effectiveness, there are only two things you can do as a storage expert. You can improve and optimize the usage of these storage assets, or you can reduce the costs associated with the operation, management, and maintenance of these resources. So when it comes to delivering operational effectiveness, transparency is the key. And once we have this visibility, we can use it to help us enable storage-related IT projects which will optimize storage resource usage and to reduce the costs associated with these resources. Many of the companies we have been working with have focused on some of the following projects and activities to help them align their storage strategies. Some of these projects include data center consolidation, technology swaps and refreshes, capacity planning and forecasting, depreciation reporting, storage reclaim, virtualization and thin provisioning, and storage tiering. All of these activities have the same thing in common. Before they can commence, you need to go through a discovery exercise to determine what you have, where it is, and what it's being used for. Once you know this, these activities can be planned, budgeted, scheduled, and monitored for successful completion. So what's the traditional approach to delivering these IT projects? Well, most companies use the tools that they already have. The problem is, these tools generally specialize in provisioning and not in analysis and reporting. In general, the information they provide is not deep or broad enough to enable these projects, and usually they are tied to specific vendors and hardware. So the discovery exercise becomes a fairly manual effort whereby storage experts gather the information by using each individual tool associated with a piece of hardware and dumping the information they get into a spreadsheet, and so on and so forth. In many cases, storage experts look to automate this process and use either internal development resources or external resources to code a simpler method of collection. Once the information about the storage environment is collected, usually companies will contract with an external professional services organization to deliver the project. In general, these organizations will repeat the discovery and collection process and use this information to help deliver the project, but they won't provide this information to increase the transparency across your storage estate. The goal of these organizations is to increase their sales of services and hardware to your company, and not to provide you with information that could enable you to do these projects yourself. So how can Storage Fusion help you to improve your storage environment? Firstly, we specialize in providing you with visibility across your entire estate through our analysis and reporting solution. SRA provides you with the breadth and depth of knowledge you need to start enabling these improvement projects. Secondly, we are vendor neutral and can deliver heterogeneous support. Our SRA solution is not tied to a specific vendor or piece of hardware, so we are able to discover all the enterprise storage you have across your estate. We deliver our solution as software as a service. This model provides companies with the lowest total cost of ownership, and there are no upfront licenses to purchase, no additional hardware costs, no implementation costs, no maintenance costs, and no disruptive upgrades to go through in the future. Our solution is light touch or non-intrusive. This means we do not require any software agents or probes to collect the data about your storage environment. This allows us to deliver the analysis and reporting back to you in just a matter of hours. Our information is provided via a single web interface. We discover, collect, consolidate, and aggregate the information about your environment into an easy-to-use front-end tool, giving you the visibility you need to make effective decisions. And finally, once you know what you have, where it is, and what it's being used for, you can start the IT projects which will help deliver operational effectiveness. Storage Fusion was incorporated just 2 years ago in 2009. The SRA solution was first developed a year prior to the establishment of Storage Fusion under a previous company, and we have spent approximately £3 million in R&D investment in the past 3 years. This should give you some indication that the problem we solve is not trivial and requires some considerable effort. We are headquartered in Welwyn Garden City, which is just 10 miles north of London in the UK. We currently have 10 employees, the bulk of which are R&D staff. However, we are looking to expand quickly with marketing, business development, and sales resources to cover the growing demand for our solution. Over the past 2 years, 242 companies have used the SRA solution to run assessments on their storage environments. Also, in the past 2 years, we have successfully signed up 69 customers to use our solution. So, as you can see, we are small, but we tackle a large problem, and the demand for our solution is growing. And now I'll hand over to Peter, who will take you through an overview of our SRA solution. Peter?
Okay, thanks very much, Jeff. Well, just before we go into the live demonstration today, I'm just going to take you through a single slide which provides an overview of how SRA works. First of all, you will need to confirm that you have a supported storage array. SRA supports numerous storage devices from the main vendors, including EMC, Hitachi, IBM, HP, and NetApp. Next, you will need to download SRA's free data collection script, which is available for Windows and Unix operating systems. The data collection script uses the vendor device manager commands to discover and collect data from your storage estate. For example, for Symmetrix arrays the script uses the SimCLI command. For IBM DS6000 and 8000 it uses DSCLI, and for Hitachi arrays it uses the High Command Device Manager software. For further information, please review the documentation provided with the data collection script. Now that you have the script, you will need to run it in your storage environment. The script typically takes approximately 20 minutes per petabyte, although this can vary depending upon the size of array and complexity of the configuration. Once you have collected the configuration data, you will need to create a zip file and send it to your SRA service provider. Data is typically sent using email or secure FTP. Oh, and it's worth noting that the very first time you use SRA, you will need to provide the region and data center names of where each storage device is located, as these are displayed in the SRA GUI. Next is the clever stuff. SRA will analyse your data and discover your storage devices, creating hundreds of metrics, identifying configuration issues, discover storage that can be reclaimed, provide environmental data and apply a performance tiering model. We call it a report point or analysis point, but it's basically the configuration snapshot of the storage estate. SRA can be run daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever frequency you choose. Data is typically processed within hours and made available online the same day. Once the data is ready, you will be provided with login details of the SRA portal. From within the portal, you will have access to numerous dashboards detailing capacity, configuration, performance tiering, environmental data and virtualization and thin provisioning. Once you have 2 or more analysis points, trending data will automatically be displayed, allowing you to see how the storage estate is changing over time. The portal has over 50 predefined reports and also includes an ad hoc report writer, enabling you to write your own custom reports.